This is Ernest Sears Jr. with SOS Consulting, coming to you once again to share some what I hope you consider gold. If you're looking for the gold, I'm hoping you found some today in what I'm going to share. Last time we spoke, I began a series on the 13 red flags of toxicity, whether it's on your team, your inner circle, among your employees. These are 13 red flags that you need to watch out for and root them out and do what is necessary to address the red flags so that your team, your environment, your circle can be free of toxicity. We touched on two of them. The first red flag was that of somebody on your team or in your circle who has no enthusiasm about their own life. Just nothing about their own life that triggers or inspires any enthusiasm in themselves. That's a problem. And I talked about that before. Number two, someone who always seems to be available, has nothing really going on, has no plans, there's no personal development happening. They're just always available, always there, filling in space with nothing, bringing nothing of value to the table, no conversation, no discussion. That's number two, and that's a problem. You can't have that around you and expect to be the best you can be. Number three is someone who always blames others for their situation, for their issues, always blames others when they aren't able to meet goals, always blames others when things don't go the way they're supposed to. And this is a very debilitating situation where you don't realize the power of taking control, the power of taking responsibility for your life, for your mistakes, for your issues, for the things that go wrong. Because if you're not willing to take responsibility over those things that don't go well, then why do you think it's okay to take responsibility and ownership of those things that do go well? They're two sides of the same coin. They're your currency. and you have to accept responsibility for both. You know, when things don't go well, it's your fault. It doesn't matter who was in the way. It doesn't matter who you were interacting with. It doesn't matter who was on your team. It doesn't matter who didn't quite do their part. If it's on your watch and it was your project, you had the responsibility to make sure that particular goal was accomplished. And to the extent that it wasn't accomplished, you must be willing to take complete responsibility and complete ownership for that thing not going well. There's power in that. And if you want true power, if you want to be a visionary and create the life and the circumstances that you want for yourself, you have to take control over everything around you as it relates to your plans and your goals and the life you want to live. When you get into the habit of even attributing a small part of what goes wrong to someone else, it becomes a very bad habit. It's like a little bitty cancer that metastasizes and grows, and you find yourself, blaming everybody else for your situation, everybody else for things that don't go well. It's a very bad habit to begin to start. So I tell you right now that this is one of the worst red flags ever. As soon as you see that there's someone on your team or in your circle who has a habit, who habitually points the finger at other people instead of realizing that they are the problem, then you need to coach them to the right or coach them to the left. Coaching them to the right entails having a true heart-to-heart, man-to-man, woman-to-woman, man-to-woman, woman-to-man conversation with this person, where you get them to see the extent to which this issue is at least partially their responsibility. Because these are all, everything we're talking about are just issues, problems to be solved. We have to be solutions oriented when we are addressing issues around us, whether, you know, they truly have to do with someone else or ourselves. We want to be solution oriented. So you want to coach them in a way where you are asking questions, you're getting them to see the extent to which they actually can play a part in the solution. They can play a part, a real part, in creating a plan of action, a strategy to be successful, a strategy to come out of this situation where it seems like they are surrounded by, fraught with a failure. And usually in that type of situation, if you can give them examples of maybe from your own life where you have been beset with that kind of mentality, we all have been there. You know, we all have been there. If you really reflect, you have been there. I mean, you should be able to get them to see the light and to be able to get back on the right track. However, after a couple of opportunities to get them to see things the right way, get them to see their part in this thing not going right, getting them to understand that they have a responsibility for, you know, owning actions or lack of action that cause them to be in the predicament they're in, then sometimes we have a situation where it's disciplinary action because they're not actually able to see the extent to which they are part of the problem, if not the entire problem. And this is somebody who, if it's on your team, you know, if they're on your team, or if they are on, you know, one of your business colleagues or someone you work with, you want to distance yourself from them, because that does begin to, you know, leak into your own initiatives, your own strategies, your own actions and steps and goals. You don't want that to seep into that. So you want to distance yourself. You want to possibly coach them out. I know that sounds harsh. I know I'm really not trying to be harsh, and I'm really not trying to be judgmental. I'm trying to be really real, and this is based on experience. You know, 22 years of experience working with teams and working with different people. You want to do your best to quarantine that issue. Quarantine that issue and that person, and insulate yourself away from that, because it will impact you negatively. It will, you know, be a problem for you if you are not able to nip it in the bud. You know, give a good faith, you know, effort to help them resolve the issue and help them to see the problem for what it is. But when it gets to the point where you're trying to save them and they're pulling you down into the water, and you're not able to save yourself because, you know, they're not pulling their own weight, you know, they're not doing what is necessary to see their ownership in the situation, then you have to distance yourself. And at some point, life is going to show them the way or not. But you have to engage in a little healthy self-preservation and distance yourself from that person. So again, there are many exceptions to these guidelines, these 13 flags that I'm giving you. There are always going to be exceptions. These are just guidelines. These are just red flags that should get your attention and should, you know, provoke you to action, provoke you to, you know, attempting to solve a problem, to coach a person into the right direction. But to the extent that you're not able to do that, you know, within a certain period of time, you need to really let them go and let the universe teach them that lesson that they're going to need to learn to be successful and preserve yourself and your own vision for your life and your vision for your team and your vision for those that are aligned with you. So again, hopefully that wasn't too harsh. But that's just real talk, and that's what I'm all about here. And I'm all about growth and speaking life into people and helping them to be the best that they can be. but it really entails reflecting, recalibrating, reinventing yourself to overcome challenges and to address issues and to solve problems that may have caused you not to be able to be successful in the past. So thank you again for your time. If you'd like to talk a little bit more about that particular red flag, I would love to discuss it. Feel free to jot down or comment below. You can contact me on Instagram at dream_coach. You can contact me on Twitter at SOS_consulting_. You can email me at info@sos-consulting.org. Otherwise, I will see you next time, and enjoy this amazing evening. Take care.